Good evening, dear friends. Brand new mitzvah for today. We're right now going to do the Sefer HaMitzvahs for Monday. We're getting back on track of sending it the night before. So God willing, we'll be able to stay on a good schedule here. Brand new mitzvah, continuing our theme of marriage. And here we have the big mitzvah that we are commanded, positive mitzvah, to be fruitful and multiply, have children, procreate. And the Rambam says, very interesting wording over here, that you should specifically have in mind the intent to perpetuate and bring about the survival and the continuation and the existence of our human race, of humankind. This mitzvah is called Pirya V'Rivya, the mitzvah of being fruitful and multiply, which is exactly what Hashem told the very first humans, Adam and Chava, Va'atem pru u'revu, and you shall be fruitful and multiply. Now the Rambam says, if you look in the Gemara, if you look in the teachings of our sages, you'll see that this command is considered a mitzvah. And that is how the Rambam knows that it's considered one of the 613 mitzvahs. How do you know that's called a mitzvah? So here's a full quote. The Talmud says that when does the mitzvah first apply to a man? The mitzvah first applies to a man on the very evening of his chasna. You get married, and before you're married, you're not allowed to engage in this mitzvah of trying to have children. But once you're married, like we've learned in the previous days, that the marriage and the kiddushin and the ksubah creates the mitzvah and the possibility, the permit for a man and a woman to be intimate. So therefore, the mitzvah goes into effect that evening. And therefore, the Talmud teaches us that a chassan who comes from his chuppah that very first evening of the chasana, he does not have to do the mitzvah that is relevant at the time. The evening mitzvah is to recite the Shema in the evening, because the groom, has a very important mitzvah that he's facing at this hour, and therefore he is exempt from other mitzvahs at that time. So the Rambam says, look at that quote. We clearly see over here that the mitzvah to have children is put on a pedestal at the very same level as the biblical mitzvah to recite the Shema, and that is the proof that this statement that we should be fruitful and multiply is in fact considered one of the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah. The final word of the Rambam here is that this mitzvah is the obligation on the man. It is not an obligation on the woman, which means a female Jew, a woman, does not have to worry to fulfill this mitzvah. Only a man has to worry about fulfilling this mitzvah. But of course, the Rambam says in his book of laws that once a woman has children, she of course gets the reward, and she fulfills the mitzvah, but it's an optional mitzvah for her. Which means if there's a woman who unfortunately doesn't have any children, she's not in violation of this mitzvah. But if there's a man who doesn't have children, he's in violation. Okay, and that is today's Daily Mitzvah. Take care, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week. We'll see you all soon. Sei gesund.